Do you see what I've just seen? This question may have come up to many people while watching the 2024 Olympic Games opening ceremony in Paris. The dissonance between the inner narrative of witnesses and the outer narrative grew stronger as they watched the succession of controversial scenes and symbols. More specifically, the state of confusion or great discomfort erupted at the moment when the spectators and the global audience were witnessing the scene resembling the famous Da Vinci painting, The Last Supper. Conservatives, Catholics, and other Christian denominations got offended and found it blasphemous. The scene was performed by LGBTQ+ people, glam models, drag queens, and later on, the semi-naked man painted in blue color, singing the French song called Nu, meaning naked in English, on a fruit platter. Was that an artistic expression free to challenge, reinterpret, or question the beliefs and norms? Or maybe those who pull the strings wanted to send a specific message to the global audience? After the opening ceremony, what we could witness was the polarization of viewers, and it continues to this day. On one side, we have Christians and other groups who are offended and interpret everything through the Christian lens, denying other views on this ceremony. If you agree with their opinions, you may wonder about the following. Why is Christianity always mocked? Why did the authors of this show cross the red line? On the other side, we have those ready to see things from different angles and acknowledge the Dionysian or pagan roots and influence on Christianity and the Olympic Games. If you are a bit curious about mythology, past religious figures, and practices, then you may find many similarities and differences between today's Christianity and the religions that existed before. Some may call this heresy or something else, yet it can provide you with a broader picture. Now, let's look at the parodic scene. Some people compare the poses of drag performers and the central figure, a love activist and DJ, Barbara Butch, with the 12 apostles and Jesus presented in the iconic Da Vinci's painting. DJ Butch also wore a silver headdress looking like a halo, a holy symbol around Jesus' head, which is usually found in Renaissance paintings. Halos can be found in many cultures and traditions. For example, in ancient Greek and Roman art, gods and goddesses have halos around their heads or body, presenting their divine or semi-divine status. However, the mass backlash following this tableau vivant, or living painting, for the perceived mockery of the Last Supper and Christianity. As a result, the organizers deleted the official YouTube video of the opening ceremony, and some TV broadcasters censored the controversial scene. She also deleted her older posts and received many death and violent threats and insults, and decided to sue the critics. The organizers apologized to people offended by the living painting and stated that the creators didn't intend to depict the Last Supper. The creative director, Thomas Jolly, claimed that his inspiration was the big feast of the pagan Greek gods, more specifically Dionysus, the god of wine and revelry, who was counted among the 12 most important Greek gods known as the Olympians. Besides that, he's also the god of liberation, ecstasy, chaos, winemaking, fertility, music, dance, and theater. He has many roles and powers. Dionysus arriving at the table was portrayed by the Blue Man, the singer-songwriter Philippe Catherine. Some audience found his performance and other performers' kissing, appearance, and dance overly sexualized and shocking. Seeing men wearing makeup and glamorous dresses versus seeing the old paintings where men were also wearing makeup and dresses. Does this make you feel uncomfortable, and why? Dionysus is usually depicted as the androgynous god. Symbolically, his androgyny represents his transformative nature to break the conventional boundaries and unify the opposites by transcending and integrating them, such as order and chaos, life and death, masculine and feminine. On a much deeper level, are we seeking to restore our original wholeness? We can find this desire to reunite with our lost other half in Plato's Symposium, the myth of the androgynous as well. Here, humans were created as complete beings, possessing both male and female traits. Then, Zeus decided to split those powerful beings in half. They were perceived as threats to gods. Each half yearns for the other half. This is described as the origin of love, or eros. Now, as we take a closer look at the Blue Man's performance, we can know more about his side of the story in an interview with CNN. He claimed that the song was inspired by the ongoing wars in Gaza and Ukraine and the ancient Olympic Games, where all athletes competed with one another naked back then. He revealed that his song carries a message for peace and the fact that people can't carry weapons when they're naked. During the performance, behind the Blue Man and among the performers was one premature girl. Some viewers of this show were concerned that kids following the Olympic Games were exposed to nudity on their national television. All of this sparked the mass rage. And now, as we shift and go further with the Dionysian view, does any Greek or Egyptian god resemble Jesus? Is there any connection between Jesus and Dionysus? Some scholars pointed out the influence of the earlier gods worshipped for centuries and even millennia on Christianity, which spread later throughout the world. They explored those gods sharing similar traits. Some of them were Osiris and Dionysus. They share the following: having a divine father, a mortal virgin mother, and the ability to resurrect after death. The Greek historian Herodotus showed the connection between the Egyptian god Osiris and Dionysus. There are also other gods associated with Dionysus. Furthermore, the scholars who compare Dionysus and Christ find the following similarities: the sacred and symbolic role of wine, the ritual and transformative consumption of wine, the Eucharist or communion, and the idea of being born again. The great psychologist Carl Jung considers the Dionysian cult linked to the shadow archetype and the archetype of the anima and the animus, symbolizing the wild and unconscious aspects of the psyche. Dionysus is the symbol of the irrational, wild, and ecstatic aspects of human nature. In other words, it is the repressed unconscious. To reconcile and integrate both the conscious and unconscious parts of the self, one can do it through the Dionysian experience that challenges the ego. To attain wholeness, one has to balance the Dionysian wild side and chaos with the Apollonian, including logic, control, harmony, and order. This process is also known as individuation. Through it, one can experience unity with others, the cosmos, and everything. And as we dive deeper, besides the Christian and Dionysian views, are we ready to embrace the new integrated view? Maybe the first step to the new integrated view starts with us looking within. Some of us can experience Jesus Christ consciousness by connecting with our hearts and His unconditional love for all of us, or God's love and acceptance of all of us. And through that infinite love, we can embrace the entire performance, see it through a different light, and give ourselves the space for understanding and forgiveness. We can ask ourselves, how would Jesus respond to the parody or alternation of the Last Supper or His image? What would Jesus tell about the influence of past religions and traditions on Christianity? Others who can't relate to Christ's consciousness can ask themselves, how would the wiser or higher version of myself respond to Da Vinci's painting, The Last Supper? How would the wiser or higher version of myself respond to the scenes from the Olympic Games opening ceremony, making me confused, angry, or afraid of the future? Let the inner beams of light illuminate the dark passages of ignorance, fear, and doubt. Let the answers come within. Let us shine with the infinite love.